Hi guys, I'm Kate. Welcome to my kitchen. You know, I've been getting a lot of comments on YouTube the last few days about people who would really like to learn to can their food, but they're either a little bit afraid or they don't have the equipment and they don't want to spend the money for the equipment until they know that they can be a success at it. So today, for those people, we're going to do a quick and easy low sugar apple jelly using equipment that normally you would find in the American kitchen. To start this off, we're going to talk about the canner itself. We will be using what's called a water bath process, which means it will be cooked in boiling water. Now, most people want a fancy, big, tall canner with a lid and racks and that sort of thing. But I'm here to tell you, you can do it all in something as simple as your Dutch oven with a cover to keep the jars off the bottom. This happens to be a cake cooling rack, and it fits perfectly in the bottom. Now, the one thing you need to remember if you're going to use your Dutch oven is that the water must cover the top of the jar by at least 1 inch. So, we want the jars to be covered, and we want the water to be warm or simmering because we're going to put hot jelly in hot jars, and we want it to be hot in here. Now, that 1 gallon filled this up to here. When I add my jars, it'll bring it up all the way to the top. We're going to put our lid back on and turn on the oven to medium-high so that it can start getting warm in here. A lot of people have said they don't want to can or are afraid to try to can because they don't know how to prepare the fruit to make jelly. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be able to prepare the fruit. All you have to do is be able to buy a bottle of 100% fruit juice, which is what I have here. And what we need is 6 cups of juice. So we're going to pour this bottle of juice in until we get 6 cups. Let's see. 6 cups will be to right here. All right. That's our 6 cups. Now the other thing that you need is a sort of deep sauce pot. It doesn't have to be really huge, but you need it in order to hold all of this and give you a little room for expansion. So we put the juice in the pan. Now we're going to turn this on to about medium because we want it to start heating. What we're going to use today is called SureGel. This is a low sugar SureGel. This is what makes your jelly get solid. And I like to make mine with low sugar. I have a lot of diabetics in my family, and I just don't like having all that sugar in my body. So this is what I use. Now, according to the recipe, which comes in the box of SureGel, you have 6 cups of juice, which we poured in here, 4 cups of sugar, out of which we take 1/4 cup and put it in a separate container. This container is what we're going to mix the SureGel into. The reason we mix it into the sugar is because it helps it dissolve in the fruit juice more easily. Okay. Now we're going to just mix it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be real fancy. I just use a spatula and stir it around. Now we're ready for that. The next thing we have to do is we have to wait for this to warm up a little bit. It's not really hot, it's just starting to get warm because it was in the fridge before I poured it in for you. We're going to add our pectin that's mixed with sugar, and all you do is just sprinkle it in while you continue stirring because you don't want it to make little lumps of pectin. All right. We're going to continue to stir as it heats until it comes to a boil. When it's at a full rolling boil, I'll bring you back again. Okay, it's beginning to boil. It's not full rolling yet, but it is beginning to boil. So we want to add 1/2 teaspoon of butter. It's not enough to cause a problem with the canning, but it'll keep the juice from forming too much foam on the top. Because any foam that forms on there, you don't want to put in your jelly. It'll ruin the looks of it. The butter keeps it from being quite so bad. Now we go back to stirring and wait until it reaches the full rolling boil, which should be very quickly. We I've reached a full rolling boil. I cannot stir it down, so our next step is to add the 3 3/4 cups of remaining sugar. Now that that's all in there, that'll slow the boil down again. We got to stir it to dissolve the sugar, and then wait for it to come to a roll again, a rolling boil again. It's been cooking for 1 minute, so we turn the heat off. We need to move it off the heat for a minute or two and let it sit there. We'll get a hot pad and we'll go get a bottle. Now do be careful because they are hot. They're 200 degrees. Next thing you're going to need is some kind of a funnel and a spoon to fill the jars. Be careful because this stuff gets really sticky. And because of all the sugar, if it splashes on your skin, it burns a lot. What we're going to do is we're going to fill it up just to the level of where the rings start. As you can see, it fills all the way up to right there. That's where you want to stop, because the rest of this is called head space. That means room for it to expand when it's cooking. Let me get a paper towel, and to be sure this is going to seal, we have a little bit of vinegar here. We'll get our paper towel damp, and while holding the jar, we wipe down the rim and the threads to be sure there's nothing on the jar. We want to make a good seal. And we take one of the lids that comes with your jars and set it down on top. Take one of your rings and you tighten it down to what's called fingertip tight. You see how the jar turns? That's fingertip tight. You lift the jar up and hold it in your hand and tighten it just a smidgen more. Now, we've got to take our hot jar and put it in our hot pan. The next thing you'll want, a pair of tongs. You grab it right under the lid and lower it into the water. And then you come back and do the next one. Okay, welcome back. One of the fun things about having parrots, macaws in particular, is they're very interested in everything you're doing. And Kareem heard me in here working on this jelly, and he decided to come in and see what's going on. So for the rest of this video, Kareem's going to help. Yeah, you going to help, big boy? Yeah. The jelly came to a boil. We turned it off. We're going to lift them out. Now, you can do it the same way you put them in, using the tongs and a hot pad. I would suggest that you scoop the water out and put it in another container until such time as you can reach into the water, lift it up, grab it with your hot pad and bring it over. That's what all of these are. But it's much quicker if you have the actual equipment. And once you've done this a couple of times, if you feel like you're going to do it, you want to invest in some of these. They're not really expensive and they do save time. For instance, that's all it takes to take the jelly out of the pan. It's much quicker, it's much easier. Now I had 3 more jars that did not get processed because there wasn't room in the pan. So we're going to add the water back in. We're going to recover it, turn the heat back on, and we're going to go ahead and bring it up to a boil, and we're going to process those 3 jars. When they're finished, we'll have 10 jars of apple jelly made at home very quickly with no special equipment. I hope to see you at the next video. Y'all take care. Bye-bye. Can you say bye-bye? Can you say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. Well, I guess not this time. Take care.